Peter, why let go of your anger?
Anger is one of those reactionary emotions that's triggered by fear. And when you get consumed with anger, regret, resentment, the main person it hurts is you, the person in the mirror. So it's important to let go of the anger, the regret, the resentment, so you can form a new, more peaceful internal foundation within yourself on which to move forward so you can create more of what you really want. And for me, that was all about creating an environment of divorce where my daughter, my young 3-year-old daughter, could actually thrive. And as long as I had that anger consumed and building up and spewing forth out of me, all it did was create more anger.
In addition to hurting yourself, you hurt somebody you love.
Absolutely. You're hurting your children because you're setting an example of anger. It's making things worse between you and the ex, because when you get angry at the ex, all he or she is going to do is get angry in return. And when they get angry and you react with anger, it just becomes a vicious cycle of anger. So breaking that cycle, which I call the vicious cycle of subconscious fear, because again, anger usually is triggered by a fear of some sort and you react. So breaking that cycle is so important so you can create a better environment for your kids, but also for yourself. Does that make sense, Keith?
It makes sense. And I can see how some people might not want to do it for themselves, but they would do it for their children.
Yes, and I mean, that was exactly the case for me. My daughter was the reason, the why for me, that was so much bigger, greater than me alone. Because we all tend to naturally be self-centered, I think. And we have that reason, we get clear on that reason why, which again, for me was my daughter. I'm sure for you watching would be your children. And if you happen to not have children, figure that reason out, because it's so important. And you're going to save yourself emotional grief, heartache, all the anger and the stress that results from it. And you'll be able to move forward in a more peaceful, calmer way and be able to, whether it's compromise, reach mutually beneficial resolution, it will change everything. So my call to action for each of you today is to think of one thing, whether it's small, medium, big, one thing that really triggers you, that pisses you off, that the ex says or does, that the next time it happens, you can remain calm, more peaceful, and let go of that anger, that regret, that resentment, to form that foundation on which to move forward more peacefully and more beneficially for everyone involved, especially for your children.
I like that, Peter, because you often can anticipate what's going to set you off.
Yeah, I think we all can figure things out that set us off. So,
yes. I know you're watching right now, and I want you to accept this call to action. Do it for your children.
And I will certainly think of some small way, not necessarily with my ex, because I'm now remarried, but one small way, something that typically upsets me, that I will not allow to upset me anymore, because it only hurts myself and even those around me, my other loved ones. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, Peter.
And you, the watcher, the viewer, next week.
Thank you, Peter. See you next week.
Sounds good.